So the Dji Smart Controller is here, right? Go and buy it right now. I'm not that kind of a person who is going to tell you that go and buy it right now, my friend. Only because if you go and buy it right now, it's 679 to 49. For me, the whole video purpose is going to be that whether you need this, brother, or not. So what we are going to do is that we are going to compare this with this setup and see whether this is bright in a bright sunlight day like this when you are doing projects. So let's begin. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Bright sunny day today, and what a perfect day to talk about the topic about the DJI launching the new smart controller in the market. Now the thing is that DJI just launched the smart controller day before yesterday, and here are some pros and cons. Here are my take-ons on that smart controller. So if you want to join in the channel, if you're joining in the channel for the first time, welcome to Opinions Matter. And today we are going to show you my setup, and we are going to compare that with the DJI smart controller. So let's begin. So at first, this is my setup, to be very frank. I usually fly like this. I have an iPad Pro 11-inch, which I bought like really few weeks back. This is the tablet mount, and I've connected this with my tablet mount, and I've placed on my Mavic 2. Now usually I do not have to look into all the controller settings and everything, but I'm pretty much good with the accessibility of all my buttons and everything. And this setup didn't cost me a lot. The iPad itself is $799. If you're getting any open box or anything, this is a great addition to your device and stuff like that. So with this addition, as you can see, it's for me, that's extra screen and extra inch of space matters a lot, as because this helps me in seeing a lot of my and composing a lot of my shots. Okay, before we begin, also I'm going to make sure you guys know this, that the smart controller has the brightness of an inbuilt screen, which is in the smart controller, of 1000 nits. Now the iPad Pro is only 600 nits. If you're having an iPhone an iPhone 10, that's 574 nits. But all you guys who are owning a Galaxy Note 8 or a Note 9, you guys are luck, because the brightness on that guy is 1274 nits. And yes, that's a bigger screen display, because the screen display on this smart controller is only 5.5 inches. So now we are going to see whether this setup that I'm having, how is it compared to a smart controller according. So what literally, can you see it or not, so that's what we are going to check it out. So let's turn on the drone, and let's turn on the controller. So at first we are going to turn on the drone. I'm not going to fly around my balcony. Are you crazy or not? So we are going to turn on the drone. It's doing its gimbal calibration thing. So once this drone turns on, now we are going to connect the controller. So that is the situation with my iPad. As you can see, I can literally see everything. I can control everything, and I can see all my coordinates and everything out here. I had to crank up the ISO a bit, because otherwise you guys will not get the exact depiction. And what I do is that I carry a microfiber cloth. If I'm touching the screen a lot, I usually use that also. Now, very cheap fix is to get a sunshade on the side for $10. You guys can get it, but as you can see, this is the direct sunlight, and this is the way I'm facing it. And yes, for me, the visibility is not at all a big problem. And if I want to add some grid lines, there you go. And I've added some grid lines to it, as you can see right now. These grid lines will allow me to keep the shots in my center, and that is my central direction. In that way, I can fly through, tight spaces and everything. And this way, I will know how I'm flying towards it. So for me, this setup is not at all expensive. It's a very cheap setup for me. So this whole tablet mount is not at all very costly. It is only like 20 or 25 bucks with my Mavic 2 controller setup. So that tablet mount actually helps me a lot. Okay, so one more thing, guys, before we end this episode, we need to talk about is OcuSync 2.0 and compatibility of this DJI Smart Controller. The DJI Smart Controller is compatible with Mavic 2 and anything that supports OcuSync 2.0. Compatibility of the DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise is still under query. They will let you guys know in a future episode later on. So Mavic 2 Enterprise still right now, as of today, is not getting the the support of this DJI Smart Controller. So it's only going to be the DJI Mavic 2 series and probably Phantom 5, if ever Phantom 5 launches. But my whole thing is that I pretty much think, doing a lot of reviews and research, Phantom 5 probably will not happen, and they will not launch any Phantom. If you guys are an Inspire owner, I do not have any Inspire, so I cannot talk about that. So if you guys are an Inspire owner, remember this: Inspire 1 is not supported. Inspire 2, OcuSync 2 0.0 was released, but they didn't talk about anything about Inspire 2 on that one. Probably Inspire 3 is going to get it. So all of your older drones, this will not be compatible. So if you have a lot of other drones for your production, this is not compatible. This is just compatible with the Mavic 2 series and the later on drones. Big question is also this, that DJI usually ships all of their drones, Phantom 4, Mavic 2 and everything, with some controller. What about if you already have this smart controller? Will you be able to buy another controller separately? That's also another big question. Third thing, very important question, is that this is a standalone remote. While your iPad or your iPhone or a Crystal Sky monitor, you can literally take it out and plug it in to another controller, and you can have 3 or 4 drones working with that one sort of setup. This means that every time you are swapping between one drone to another drone, you have to reconnect it again drone. So you have to, one controller, you have to unpair it, pair it, and this is a whole lot of situation which again arises just because you have made that $650 investment. A lot of those guys, those who don't know, who made this idea, whose idea was this long before? And yes, there is a company called the Autel Evo actually had inbuilt screen inside their controller, and they had the ability to put in an extra phone or anything. So pretty much this was already done. Alrighty guys, and to end this episode, I just wanted to say that if you are looking for the explanation that please tell me opinions matter, that it's worth to buy this thing, well, if you have an extra bit of cash lying around, 650, if you want to spend that, go ahead and spend it. It's not going to make a lot of difference in your flight. It's just that it's a built-in screen, yeah, it's going to help you out in a sunlight, but a setup like this is affordable, easy to use, and you can do a lot of stuff with a setup like this attaching to a tablet. Now, if they would have launched something with a 10.5-inch display, I would actually say to you guys, yes, that's an Android tab based operating system, that's going to be very, very nice. Still a 5.5-inch display, so it's very hard to say, should you buy this or not. But if you want to know an honest opinion, just because I will never be sponsored and I don't care about it, even if I get sponsored, I will still do the reviews and like this. So if you want to know an honest opinion, for me right now, as of right now, I think DJI Smart Controller doesn't make any sense to me. It's a novelty toy or a novelty smart controller for people, those who want to have a built-in screen and all that stuff. Do go ahead and buy that. I mean, there is no problem in that. It's just that for a regular consumer, a regular hobbyist, to spend another 650 is going to be a very, very big thing. Now, for all those new guys, those who were planning to buy the Mavic 2 Pro or the Mavic 2 Zoom Lite this year, yes, it's bundling up. So if you are planning to buy a new Mavic 2 Pro or Mavic 2 Zoom, obviously this is a go-to, because you save up a lot of money when you buy the smart controller with the built-in screen with your Mavic 2 Pro. Yes, that makes more sense, but otherwise to buy that controller separately for $650, I would rather use my Mavic 2 with a tablet on it, and especially with an iPad Pro which has 600 nits, I will put a sunshade. I will not face any problem. That's pretty much it. So there you go guys. If you like this video, if you think that honest opinions were presented in this channel and I had given you my thoughts, do give me a big thumbs up, like, and do subscribe to this channel.